What's going on, family? I'm back with another video. And today's video is going to be about depression and addiction. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Not really going to focus on scripture in this video because it's more of a real talk video. Because I know a lot of people right now are dealing with depression and addiction and a lot of mental instabilities, and a lot of people might be feeling lost. A lot of people might be feeling scared. A lot of people might be feeling unsure, or whatever the case is. They might be feeling down and like they're at the bottom. They're at their last rope, their last end, however that saying goes. The end of their rope. So I'm gonna start on addiction. I actually got addicted to drugs, not hard drugs, but pharmaceuticals like pills. I actually got addicted to drugs at a young age, like around my ninth grade year of high school. And it wasn't because it was like a trend or anything. It wasn't because, other kids or other people were doing drugs or rappers was talking about drugs in their music and stuff like that made me want to, try doing pills and stuff like that. It was just like I was a sick kid at the time. Like I was having chest problems. I was having abdominal problems and stuff like that. And I used to go to the doctor a lot, or go to the emergency room, and they would prescribe me pills for the pain. Like I used to have muscle inflammation in my chest and stuff, and I used to have a hard time breathing. I used to have chest pains. I used to have abdominal pain, like really bad. And like I said, they used to prescribe me different medications, like oxycodone, hydrocodone. And so basically, that's how I got addicted to popping pills. Was like they would prescribe me a certain medication, and me being so young, like I hadn't started smoking weed yet. I hadn't started smoking marijuana yet. So the feeling of getting high off the pills, like I had a prescription of oxycodone, and it was like, take one pill by mouth every 8 hours, right? And it was like, take it with a meal, or take it with water or whatever. And I would take one pill and literally be sleepy or be sleep for 8 hours. So I was like, well, let's say take it every 8 hours. I just slept for 8 hours. So I guess it's time to take another pill. So that's really how I got addicted to popping pills. And I'm not gonna lie, like the high I got, it felt good to me because I already like to sleep anyways. So I was like, this is giving me a chance to sleep more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to sleep, and a lot of the times I couldn't sleep like I wanted to because, like I said, I was in school and we were living with my grandmother, and it was like 10 people living in the house. So I could sleep, but it wasn't like I could sleep all day if I wanted to. Now, like I can now, I mean, because I'm an adult and I have my own place, and I don't have different people trying to tell me how to live my life or what to do. So, yeah, I got addicted to it just for the simple fact that I like sleeping. But I also like, the high it gave me too. So that's how I ended up getting addicted to pills or whatever. So to cut that story short, that's that. All right, so my main thing about addiction is how easy it is. That's what I wanted to focus on, how easy addiction is. Like I said, it was easy for me to get addicted to pills because I was so young and I like to sleep, and most pharmaceuticals have a side effect of drowsiness or sleepiness. So, and a lot of pharmaceuticals have addictive side effects as well. All right, so moving forward to when I started smoking marijuana or smoking weed, which I actually I actually smoked for the first time when I was in like the 7th or 8th grade. But I wasn't really around weed like that, so it wasn't a habit for me. Like, I smoked for my first time in the 7th or 8th grade, and then I probably didn't smoke again until like my 9th or 10th grade year of high school. So I really wasn't around weed like that. But when I did start smoking habitually, well, not habitually, but I gradually started smoking more throughout my high school years, my 10th to 12th grade years, because I started experiencing life more. I started getting out more, going out, you know what I'm saying, with my cousins, and going over my cousin's house who did smoke or whatever, my older cousins, and smoking with them. And, everybody has their first experience. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people have their first experience with smoking weed where it's like the movie Friday when Craig smoked for the first time and he was tripping and hallucinating, and he was like, I feel my heart beating. And Smokey was like, that's what it's supposed to do. And he was like, nah, this different. This ain't normal. So this ain't normal. So that's how my first real experience was smoking weed. My first time smoking weed, I really didn't feel anything. I didn't feel high or anything. So my first real experience smoking weed, smoking what we what we call loud or kush or whatever, I was tripping. I really had that I feel my heart beating moment. Like, I was walking around in a circle outside while everybody else was outside, you know what I'm saying, laughing and joking and talking and stuff. I'm off to the side by myself, walking around in a circle, like trying to make myself stop walking around in a circle. That's how high I was. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop now, but I'm still walking around in a circle. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But anyways, long story short, even though that first experience was a trip, I like the feeling of being high. So once I got older, once I graduated high school, yes, I did graduate high school. After I graduated high school and we moved out of my grandmother's house, I actually started smoking more habitually. And especially after I got my own place, moved out of my mom's house after I graduated and got my own place, I started smoking more. And then I stopped for a while, got myself together as far as money wise, like money management. I started managing my money better. It wasn't all going towards weed and stuff. And I was focusing on my bills, like my rent and my light, gas, and water bill. And I was focusing on getting me a car. So I had to cut it out. And I was also debating on getting another job at the time. So I stopped just in case, I had to take a drug test or whatever. Which, the first time I stopped smoking weed, it really wasn't hard for me. Like, it was just like, okay, whatever. But that's when I started smoking Black and Milds. And I smoked Black and Milds for a while. And then I was like, I really don't like this. It's like too heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they say like Black and Milds are like 10 cigarettes. Like the one Black and Mild is equivalent to smoking 10 cigarettes. So I stopped smoking Black and Milds and started smoking cigarettes. And I did that for a while. And then I stopped smoking cigarettes. And for a while I was just sober. Like, sober as in I didn't do anything. I occasionally drank alcohol, but I'm not a big fan of alcohol. Never have been. So yeah, it went like that for a while until my lease was up on my first house, and I ended up moving back in with my mom, and then I started back smoking weed again. And that was back in like 2013, 2014 when I started back smoking weed. And I did it all the way up until 2018, which is when I quit smoking weed cold turkey. And excuse me. The last time I quit smoking weed, I quit because I felt like it wasn't benefiting me anymore. It was other things, like it started to mess with my head in a negative way. Like, I was having too many anxiety attacks and too much paranoia smoking weed, so I just decided to cut it out. And another thing I wanted to say, I stopped popping pills because I had that same effect. Like, one day, this is what actually started me on my spiritual journey. For those of you that don't know and haven't watched some of my older videos, this is what started me on my spiritual journey. Back in 2014, I was popping nerve pills, and of course they weren't mine, and they really didn't do anything for me. Like, I thought I was gonna get high off of them, and they didn't do anything for me. So after a while, I stopped taking them, and then I started having the withdrawal side effects, which The withdrawal side effects were very heavy, and the withdrawal side effects were like tremors or shaking, and paranoia, suicidal thoughts, a bunch of other stuff. Like and it all just hit me at once, and that went on for like a month and a half maybe. And one day I got tired of it because I was like, every day I wake up, it feels like I'm living a nightmare. Literally in my head, like everything felt so dark and gloomy. It could be a sunny day outside, but everything felt so depressing and dark and gloomy. And I was like, what if I have to live the rest of my life like this? And it was a scary thought. And that's what caused the suicidal thoughts, even though I never, you know what I'm saying, attempted suicide. It caused suicidal thoughts. Like, maybe I should just die and get it over with so I won't have to feel like this anymore. So, you know what I'm saying, I won't have this paranoia and I won't have these tremors. Like, every day I wake up, I would have tremors. Like, my whole body would be shaking. And the only time I felt good was when I was asleep, because I didn't have those thoughts and I wasn't shaking. I didn't have tremors. But literally, as soon as I woke up, I would have those tremors. And it was a terrible feeling. And like I said, it went on for like a month and a half. So one day I just finally got down on my knees and prayed about it. And for those of you that don't know, I was an atheist at the time, more so agnostic, but I leaned more towards atheism. And I literally got down on my knees and prayed about it. And I was just like, hey, I don't know if you real, but if you are real, you know, please take this away from me. Like, I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be like this for the rest of my life. And so I prayed on it and went to sleep, and literally, like, either the next day or within the next few days, I started feeling better. And that's what started me on my spiritual journey. I was like, I can't refute the evidence and I can't deny the facts. I was like, I prayed about it, went to sleep, woke up, and I started feeling better. So that's what started me on my spiritual journey, on believing in the Most High and wanting to know who the Most High was and have a relationship with the Most High. So yeah, after that experience with the pills, I didn't do anything for a while. I didn't pop pills. I didn't smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, blacks, drink. I didn't do it for a while. And then in 2015, or right before 2015, I started back smoking weed. And in 2015, I moved into the house that I'm currently in, and I just started back smoking weed habitually. And like I said, I did that up until 2018 when I quit cold turkey. So my point is, addiction is real. It's a real disease. And I had to notice that, like, within myself, to notice that it happens with other people as well. Like, there was a time when I was smoking weed, when I started back in 2015, because I was still on my spiritual journey, there was a time where I felt like smoking weed wasn't bad because it was helping me on my spiritual journey. When I first moved into the house I'm in now, like I was just smoking recreational. But it was around 2016, 2017 when I really started diving deep into my spiritual journey. I really started diving deep into the scriptures, and I really started reading the Bible and other spiritual books. I started reading the Apocrypha, the lost books of the Bible, and I started watching YouTube videos from different people, like Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Bobby Hemmett, which Bobby Hemmett was one of the first people I ever started watching. Who else? Big Judah, Rap the News, who recently passed. And smoking, it gave me a level of discernment that I didn't already have. Like, it helped me discern the scriptures. It helped me to understand certain scriptures better. And when I was reading like contradictions in the scriptures, like I said, it helped me discern what was actually being said. It helped me understand it on a deeper level. So for a while, I felt like it wasn't bad because it was helping to further my spiritual growth. And it did. It really did, because I am where I am now. And I'm not gonna sit here and completely say it's because of smoking weed, because I know all things are done through the Most High. So, I give thanks to the Most High for where I am now. But I also feel like smoking played a part in that, because it helped me to really focus on the scriptures that I was reading and want to get a better understanding of the scriptures that I was reading. Not just from the Bible, not just from the Old Testament, not just from the New Testament, but from all the spiritual books that I was reading. So, yeah, eventually I ended up starting to have those same symptoms like I did with the pills back in 2014. And one day I was either watching a video from Rap the News. Nah, it wasn't Rap the News. I was watching a video though about the Passover and the rapture, which I know the rapture isn't the rapture isn't real. I know that now. So, but at the time I was watching a video about the rapture, and I thought I had it all figured out. And I thought, all my calculations and dates were precise, and I was like, all right, so the Passover is really like it's a day where all of the spiritually aware and spiritually woke people get raptured out, get taken away. Like the spirit of the Most High literally passes over, and all of the people that are spiritually awake and spiritually aware get taken out. And at the time, I was like, I'm not ready to go. I was like, I still have a lot of things that I want to do. I still have a lot of people that I want to teach the truth. I want to teach my family the truth. And I want them to be able to experience this truth with me. And I want them to be able to come with me. So I was like, I'm not ready to go. And this was literally around the time of Passover. So I was like, damn, I could be taken away at any moment. So that thought, it caused a certain level of fear within me. And like I was rolling a blunt at the time, and I literally, the sense of fear was so strong, I threw the blunt on the floor before I even finished rolling it. And I was like, I'm done. That's when I quit cold turkey. I was like, I'm done. I'm not smoking anymore. I don't want to smoke anymore. And afterwards, I was like, I feel like I had went as far as I could with smoking weed and using weed as a tool to help further my spiritual growth. So that's why I stopped smoking. And for a while, I did have withdrawals. You know, my attitude got real bad, and I was real secluded, didn't want to talk to anybody, and, you know, all the other stuff that comes with withdrawals. So that's when I started back smoking cigarettes, which I still smoke cigarettes now. So my point is, addiction is real. Like, you never know how real addiction is until you experience it for yourself. And I realized that addiction is real for me because even though I could stop smoking cold turkey, like smoking weed cold turkey, smoking black, I could stop smoking blacks cold turkey. I could stop smoking cigarettes cold turkey if I wanted to. I realized that I will always have a habit. Like, I have a smoking habit, which is why when I would stop smoking weed, I would start smoking cigarettes or start smoking blacks. Or when I would stop smoking blacks, I would start smoking weed or start smoking cigarettes. Or when I would stop smoking cigarettes, I would start smoking weed again. Like, I have a smoking habit because that's an addiction. So the point that I'm trying to make is that people try to say smoking weed isn't bad, which I don't see. I don't see it as being bad, but once it becomes an addiction, I do. Once it becomes an addiction, I do feel like it's bad because you feel like you can't live without it. And that goes for anything, not just weed. That goes for weed, alcohol, pills, food, social media, television, whatever. Once you feel like you can't live without it, it becomes an addiction, and it's bad because it's all mental. And a big part of living in the spirit is your mentality, your mental fortitude, your mental strength. So if you're smoking or drinking or popping pills because you're depressed and you say it's not bad because I'm not depressed when I do it, or it makes me feel better about life when I do it, then you're training your mind, or you're conditioning your mind to always feel like you need that in order to feel good. You're conditioning your mind to feel like you always need weed to be happy or to feel good about life. You need alcohol to feel good about yourself or feel good about life. You need pills to feel to go through the day, to make it through the day. You understand what I'm saying? It's a mental thing. You have to find better ways of experiencing life that don't revolve around having an addictive habit, right? Some people say they smoke cigarettes because it calms their nerves. You have to find some other way to calm your nerves. You really should be able to go within yourself and calm your own nerves without having to use a crutch like weed or cigarettes or alcohol to cure your depression or your anxiety and other mental ailments. So this is how I got addicted to depression. I've been through a lot in my 27 years of living, and it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. So not saying like I had like a bad childhood growing up or anything. I'm talking about as a teenager, a young adult. I've been through a lot. And I did used to get depressed a lot. Like, especially when I got my own house and I started paying bills and my bank account would be in the negative, and I didn't know how I was going to pay certain bills, and I didn't want to be behind on bills and stuff like that. I didn't know how I was going to pay for food or gas to get to work. I didn't know how I was going to get my car fixed when my car was down and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I used to get depressed a lot. And when I would get like that, I would get to a point where, I would be secluded and closed off and wouldn't want to talk to anybody. I feel like I was at my lowest point. And eventually, it got to a point where I didn't know how to feel if I didn't feel like that, which is how it became an addiction. Like, I got so used to the feeling of depression that I didn't feel normal unless I was depressed. Like, I didn't know how to feel unless I was depressed. Like, literally, the only time I felt anything was when I was feeling depressed. Like, I didn't feel happy about anything. I didn't feel good about anything. I didn't feel at all. Like, I felt numb. I felt dead inside unless I was feeling depressed. And it became an addiction because that was the only time that I did feel. And I was like, hey, at least I feel something instead of feeling empty and dead inside. So I got used to it. And I got used to it for a long time until until the Most High woke me up and made me dive into the scriptures, and I started meditating and I fasted. And once I fasted, my whole outlook on mental health changed. Mental stability in general, it all changed, because that's how I found out, and that's when I realized that everything we go through is mental. I mean, that might be obvious to most people or some people, but to me, it never really hit me until I experienced these things for myself, which could be said about a lot of people. They don't truly understand someone until they experience it for themselves, which is why they say you have to walk a mile in someone else's shoes to understand their life. So there was a time where I fasted. This was back when I was still smoking weed. I fasted, and literally I would fast and I would smoke and I would read scripture. Oh, and I would meditate. Well, I mean, not like I would fast. I was continually fasting. I was continually fasting. But on my fast, I would smoke weed, I would meditate, and I would read scripture. And in doing that, it made me realize that what am I trying to say? In doing that, it made me realize that you have to condition your mind to think positively. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter what the situation is that you're in, you have to condition your mind to think positively. A big part of fasting is conditioning and training your mind which is why you don't eat. Because if you can condition your mind to say, hey, I don't need this, which everybody gets hungry. Everybody wants food, right? That's a basic necessity of life. But what I learned through fasting was that if you can condition your mind to say, hey, I don't need to eat. I don't need food. I'm not really hungry. You can condition your mind for anything, to kick any habit. I literally fasted for 3 months, and people tend to not believe it, but I literally fasted for 3 months. The only thing I lived off of was water and the word and the scriptures. Like I said, I meditated. I also used to work out back then just to get my mind off of eating. And Um, what am I trying to say? After a while, it got easy. Like after a while, I didn't even have an appetite. But when I first started, you know, my stomach felt empty. It would growl. I was having hunger headaches. But once I made it past that point, I didn't even have an appetite anymore. Or when I did have an appetite, I could read scripture and it would take my mind off the hunger to the point where after I was done reading scripture, I wouldn't even be hungry anymore. I would feel full just from reading the scripture. So that's where I was. That's where I was in life when I fasted. And like I said, it helped me to realize that fasting and meditating really conditions your mind for life in general. Because if I can make it past the point of feeling hungry when I fast and read scripture and not feel hungry or not feel empty, then everything else should be a cakewalk. Everything else should be a breeze. So anything negative that comes into my life, I can condition my mind to say, hey, no matter what I'm going through, I'm going to keep a positive outlook. Because there's no point in feeling depressed. And once I did that, once I conditioned my mind to say, hey, no matter what struggle I'm having, no matter how hard a time I'm having in life, I'm going to keep a positive outlook. My whole life changed. Like, I didn't worry about money problems. I didn't worry about drama. I didn't worry about altercations, arguments. I didn't worry about any of that stuff. Like, you know how some people get mad when they heard that somebody was talking about them or somebody's actively having an argument and they getting so worked up about it. I got to a point where I didn't have arguments anymore. Like, somebody could try to argue with me and I would just brush it off. Like, I don't have the capacity to argue anymore. I don't have the capacity to get mad anymore. I don't have the capacity to be distraught anymore about anything. So that's where I was with fasting and meditation. It helped me overcome depression. It helped me have a brighter look or a different perspective on life. Because I realized that I didn't want to live in negativity. Because once you feed into that negative energy, that's all you're going to be surrounded by. If you feed into the negativity, if you feed into the negative energy, then you're going to forever be stuck in a cycle of negativity. And I used to try to teach this to people in my life. Like, you have to just brush the negativity off, no matter what it is, no matter who it is trying to bring negativity in your life. You have to just brush them off. or what's going on negative in your life. You just have to brush it off. You have to ignore and get rid of all the negativity in your life, because that makes room for the positivity to come into your life. And I'd much rather feed off of positive energy than negative energy, because that's what breeds the way for depression and anxiety and addiction. So yeah, this is my little video. Like I said, I just wanted to have like a real talk, and I've been meaning to make this video for a while now. I just wanted to give y'all like a deeper look into my life, and kind of help y'all understand why I started making YouTube videos to begin with. Like, a lot of my older videos, like the first few videos that I ever uploaded to YouTube, were motivational videos in a way. Like, they were just real life experiences and me talking about how I overcame those experiences. So that's basically what this video is. I just wanted to kind of get back to my roots, and I hope that it helps somebody out there. I hope I help. God damn it. Excuse me, but I hope it helps a few people out there, actually. If you actually stuck around and listened to the whole video, depression and anxiety is not something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. You have to find better outlets to release those negative energies. You can't use addiction as a crutch for having a positive outlook on life. You can't use alcohol. You can't use marijuana, weed. You can't use tobacco, cigarettes, blacks. You can't use pharmaceuticals as a crutch to have a positive outlook on life. You have to condition and train your mind to be strong without those crutches. You have to condition and train your mind to have a positive outlook on life without needing those crutches. Because like I said, once you train your mind or condition your mind to feel like you need those things to have a positive outlook on life, then it becomes an addiction. So I just want to say all praises to the Most High God of Yisrael for how far I've come, and for bringing me this far, and for wherever he takes me next, and for giving me a platform to be able to help others, for even giving me the mindset to want to help others, to bring others to the truth, or want to bring others to the truth. And just wanting to see people be and do better in general. Like I said, all praises be to the Most High God of Yisrael. And I really pray for anybody that's going through depression, going through anxiety, that's dealing with addiction. And I hope this video helps you. Shalom And until the next video, thank you guys for watching and see you.